I'm staring into the swirl of my latte when Hope's voice slices through the cafe air like a knife. You're a selfish, dead-weight mother. Worthless. No wonder Dad died stressed. Her friends giggle like it's entertainment. My hands start shaking so hard I nearly drop my cup. Every single head in the coffee shop turns toward our table. I can feel strangers' eyes burning into my face, watching my humiliation unfold in real time. The chatter dies down to whispers. Then Hope delivers her final blow, her voice getting louder. Sell the house already, unless you plan to rot there like everything else you touch. I can't breathe. My chest feels tight, like someone's squeezing my heart. My name is Talia Moore. I'm 68 years old, and I just watched my own daughter gut me in front of an entire coffee shop full of strangers. The worst part? She's smiling while she does it, like my pain is funny to her. I want to say something back, but the words won't come. All I can do is sit here, frozen, while my daughter destroys what's left of my dignity. The world only sees my silence right now. They think I'm some weak old woman getting told off by her daughter. What they don't see is the $80,000 I've already handed over across 10 long years. Her art gallery that closed in 6 months. The boutique that never opened. The failed online store. The luxury jewelry idea that went nowhere. All my money, gone. All her excuses, forgotten. Now she wants my home. The house my late husband Thomas built with his own 2 hands, board by board, room by room. The place where we raised her, loved her, gave her everything. I've told her no for the last time. That's my crime in her eyes. She thinks I owe her my entire life, my security, my memories. She acts like I'm being selfish for wanting to keep the one thing I have left of Thomas. But I won't give up our home. Not for her failed businesses, not for her anger, not for anything. That's why she's doing this. That's why she brought me here, to this public place, with her friends watching. She thought shame would break me. I stand up and walk out before tears can betray me. My legs feel shaky, but I force myself to move. Outside, the cold October air hits my cheeks. My stomach twists with a sick mix of rage and grief that makes me want to throw up. Through the coffee shop window, I can see Hope laughing with her friends. She's already moved on, probably telling them some twisted version where she's the victim and I'm the villain. Her hands move wildly as she talks. Her friends nod along, buying every word. One of them pats her shoulder like she's comforting a wounded child. And for the first time, standing here on the sidewalk watching my daughter perform, I realize something terrible. She might actually believe her own story. She might truly think she's the one being wronged here. That thought scares me more than her anger ever could. I walk to my car on unsteady legs, knowing that by tomorrow this story will be all over town. But not the real story. Hope's version, where I'm the cruel mother who won't help her struggling daughter. I drive home in silence, my hands still trembling on the steering wheel. By evening, my sister calls. I can hear the judgment in her voice before she even starts talking. Talia, Hope called me. She says you embarrassed her in public today. Why can't you just help her out? She's your daughter. My chest aches. She's got the story completely backwards, but I can tell she's already made up her mind about who's right and who's wrong. You weren't there, I try to explain, but my voice sounds weak even to me. I know you miss Thomas, but taking it out on Hope isn't fair. She's just trying to build a life. I want to scream. I want to tell her about the $80,000, about the failed businesses, about the public humiliation. But what's the point? Hope got to her first. She needs help, Talia. That's what family does. I hang up before my voice cracks completely. One more person on Hope's side. One more person who thinks I'm the problem. Later, my phone buzzes with texts from other family members, all saying the same thing, all believing Hope's version. I turn off my phone and sit in the dark, wondering how I became the villain in my own life. The next morning, I sit in the kitchen staring at the chair my husband always used. It's been 3 years since I lost Thomas, but some mornings it still feels like yesterday. Hope's drift since his death has been steady, cold, and calculated. First, she stopped calling unless she needed money. Then she stopped visiting unless she wanted something. Now she stopped pretending to care at all. I start to wonder if she ever really loved me, or if she just loved what I could give her. The money, the safety net, the constant forgiveness. Thomas always said she'd grow out of it. She's just finding herself, he'd say when she'd blow through another $1,000 or quit another job. She'll figure it out. But Thomas died before seeing how bad it got, before the demands became threats, before love became manipulation. I touch his empty coffee mug, still sitting on the counter where I left it 3 years ago. Some days I imagine he's just in the other room, reading the newspaper, waiting for me to join him. Today I wish he was here to tell me what to do, to tell me if I'm really as terrible as Hope makes me feel. I stop answering Hope's calls after that. The phone rings and rings, but I just let it go to voicemail. I stop going to family events where I know she'll be there, waiting to ambush me again. It's not a strategy. It's survival. But I can feel the narrative building against me throughout the family. Crazy old Talia, bitter and selfish. Poor Hope, trying so hard with such a difficult mother. The whispers follow me to the grocery store, the pharmacy, everywhere I go in our small town. People look at me differently now, like I'm some kind of monster who won't help her own child. I wonder how long it'll be before I start believing it myself. Before their version of me becomes the only version I can see in the mirror. The loneliness is crushing. Some days I go hours without speaking to another human being. The house feels enormous and empty, filled with memories that now feel like ghosts. I start to think maybe Hope is right. Maybe I am worthless. Maybe I should just give her what she wants and disappear. But then I look at Thomas's pictures on the mantle, and I remember that this house means something. Our life meant something. 3 weeks later, there's a knock at my front door. I almost don't answer it, thinking it might be Hope coming to yell at me again. But when I peek through the window, I see a tall man in his late 50s standing there. He has kind eyes and a patient expression, not at all like someone who's here to cause trouble. I open the door slowly, keeping the chain on. "Mrs. Moore? I'm Preston Bennett. We sort of met at the coffee shop a few weeks ago. Well, I saw you there during that incident. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I had to come." My guard goes up instantly. I don't know this man or what he wants, but strangers who show up at your door usually want something. "What do you want?" I ask through the crack in the door. "I want to talk to you about something that might interest you. Something that might help you rebuild your life in a way that matters." There's something in his voice that makes me curious despite myself. Something genuine that I haven't heard in a long time. Against my better judgment, I take off the chain and open the door wider. Preston tells me he overheard the entire scene at the coffee shop. Every cruel word, every laugh from Hope's friends, every moment of my humiliation. "I run the city's new arts initiative," he explains as we sit in my living room. "We want to help you rebuild your life. We're building something special, but we need someone with real integrity to oversee our finances, someone who can't be bought or manipulated." I laugh, but it comes out bitter and harsh. "Integrity doesn't seem to be in fashion these days, Mr. Bennett." He just smiles, not fazed by my cynicism. "Maybe that's exactly why we need you, Mrs. Moore." He tells me about the project. A community arts center that would serve low-income families, provide classes for kids, showcase local artists. It's the kind of thing Thomas would have loved. "I've done my research on you," Preston continues. "Your late husband was known for his charity work. You helped him for years. People remember that. People also remember that I'm supposedly a terrible mother," I say quietly. "The people who matter know better," he replies. "I'm offering you a chance to show this town who you really are. Not Hope's version of you. The real you." Something inside me stirs. Something I thought Hope had killed completely. I agree to a trial week, mostly because I have nothing left to lose. Preston introduces me to the small team already working on the project, and for the first time in months, I feel useful. They need someone to track expenses, apply for grants, manage the budget, things I did for Thomas's charity work for 20 years. Things I'm actually good at. The work feels good, clean, honest. No one here wants anything from me except my skills and my time. No one treats me like a broken old woman or a selfish mother. During lunch breaks, I find myself laughing at jokes. Actually laughing, not the fake smile I've been wearing for years around Hope. At night, I go home tired but satisfied. For the first time in months, I sleep without replaying Hope's words from the coffee shop, without hearing her voice calling me worthless, dead weight. I start to remember who I was before I became Hope's personal bank account, before every conversation became about what she needed and what I owed her. Maybe Preston is right. Maybe I can show this town who I really am, but I'm still scared to hope. Hope has disappointed me too many times before. By month 2, the project is expanding faster than anyone expected. We're securing grants left and right, hosting successful fundraisers, and gaining attention from the local press. I'm not just helping anymore. I'm running things. Quietly, steadily, the way Thomas taught me. No drama, no grandstanding, just solid work that gets results. The mayor's office calls to congratulate us on our progress. Local businesses want to partner with us. Families are already asking when classes will start. Preston pulls me aside after a particularly good meeting with potential donors. You know this is all you, right? This wouldn't be happening without your work. I feel a warmth in my chest that I haven't felt in years. Pride. Not the desperate, hollow pride of giving Hope money she'd waste, but real pride in work that matters. For the first time since Thomas died, I feel like I have a purpose beyond being someone's mother. Beyond being someone's disappointment. The other team members treat me with respect, ask for my opinion, value my experience. It's like discovering I'm a person again, not just Hope's latest failure. But I know this can't last. Good things in my life always get complicated somehow. At a networking event downtown, I'm talking to other nonprofit leaders when I overhear Hope's name being mentioned at the next table. She's trying to get investors again, someone chuckles quietly. Good luck with that track record. 3 failed businesses in 2 years. My stomach tightens. I know exactly what's coming next, and I'm not wrong. I heard she burned through 80 grand of her mother's money, another voice adds. Now she's looking for grants, but who's going to trust her with public funding? I pretend to focus on my own conversation, but my heart is racing. Hope is making moves again, and knowing her, those moves will somehow involve me. She never could handle failure quietly. She always needed someone else to blame, someone else to fund her next sure thing idea. I excuse myself from the networking event early and drive home, my mind spinning. Whatever Hope is planning, I need to be ready for it. But for the first time, I'm not afraid. I have something of my own now. Something she can't touch or ruin or take away from me. Or so I thought. A week later, Hope's name lands on my desk in the form of a grant application. A $50,000 startup grant for something called Artisan Dreams Boutique. She has no idea I'm part of the review board for City Arts funding. No idea that her application will cross my desk before anyone else's. I read through her proposal, trying to stay professional, but it's worse than I thought. The business plan is vague, the budget makes no sense, and her track record is a disaster. But it's the personal statement that really gets to me. She writes about being unsupported by family and having to overcome obstacles placed by those who should have helped. She's made me the villain in her grant application, the cruel mother who held back her talented daughter's dreams. I set the application aside and take a deep breath. This is it. This is my moment to choose who I want to be. I could approve her application out of guilt or family obligation, or I could let the facts speak for themselves. For the first time in 10 years, I choose not to save Hope from herself. The board meeting is scheduled for next week. I wonder if she'll ever find out I was there. During the board meeting, I don't say a word about Hope being my daughter. I don't need to say anything at all. Her application speaks for itself. 3 failed businesses, unpaid debts to local suppliers, no clear revenue plan, no evidence she can manage money responsibly. One board member actually winces while reading her track record. This is exactly the kind of applicant we need to avoid, he says. Public funding should go to people who can actually deliver results. Another member nods. We have dozens of qualified applicants. Why would we take this kind of risk? The rejection is unanimous, not because of me, but because of her own actions, her own failures, her own reputation. I sit quietly through it all, feeling something I haven't felt in years. Justice. Not revenge, not cruelty, just simple justice. Hope created this situation herself. Every burned bridge, every unpaid debt, every failed business. I didn't make her irresponsible with money. I didn't force her to quit jobs or abandon projects. For once, the consequences of her actions are catching up to her. And I'm not there to cushion the fall. As we move on to the next application, I feel lighter than I have in months. Word spreads quickly in our small town's art community. Don't work with Hope more. Becomes the unofficial warning passed between artists, suppliers, and small business owners. It's not coming from me. I haven't said a word to anyone about our relationship or her past. But the people she's burned before are finally talking to each other, sharing their experiences. A gallery owner mentions the deposit she never returned. A jewelry supplier talks about the invoice she never paid. An artist describes the commissioned pieces she never picked up or paid for. It's like watching dominoes fall in slow motion. Each conversation leads to another. Each story confirms the pattern. Preston asks me if I know anything about it, since Hope's last name is the same as mine. I just shrug and say there are lots of Moores in town. He doesn't push it, but I can see him putting pieces together. He's not stupid, and our town isn't that big. Meanwhile, I focus on our arts center, which is growing beyond everyone's expectations. We're already planning a second phase, possibly a community theater. While Hope's reputation crumbles, I'm building something real. Something lasting. Something Thomas would be proud of. The irony isn't lost on me. The call comes on a Tuesday evening while I'm reviewing invoices for the Arts Center. Hope's name flashes on my phone screen, and for a moment, I consider not answering. But I know she'll just keep calling until I pick up. That's who she is. "You sabotaged me," she screams before I can even say hello. "I know it was you on that board. I know you're the reason I got rejected." I keep my voice steady and calm. "The board made its decision based on your application. I didn't have to do a thing. Don't lie to me. You've turned this whole town against me. You're telling people not to work with me." "I haven't spoken to anyone about you, Hope, but maybe other people are finally speaking up about their experiences." She's quiet for a moment, and I can hear her breathing heavily. When she speaks again, her voice is different, smaller. "Why won't you help me? I'm your daughter. I helped you for 10 years, I say quietly. I gave you everything I could. It was never enough." The line goes quiet, then I hear the click. She's hung up on me. I sit there holding the phone, waiting to feel sad or guilty. Instead, I just feel tired. While hope spirals, I'm finalizing plans for the grand opening of our new arts center. The mayor's office is involved now, calling it a model for other cities. Local press is buzzing about the ribbon-cutting ceremony. It's everything Hope claimed she wanted to build. A place for artists to showcase their work, for the community to come together, for creativity to flourish. Just without her. Preston pulls me aside during a planning meeting. "The mayor wants to give you special recognition at the opening. You've made this whole thing possible." My cheeks flush. "Oh, that's not necessary. This was a team effort." "Talia," he says, using my first name for the first time. "You've secured over $200,000 in funding, managed every budget detail, and somehow kept us under cost. Take the credit you deserve." That night, I call my sister for the first time in months. I tell her about the art center, about the recognition, about feeling useful again. "That's wonderful," she says, but her voice sounds strange. "Hope mentioned you're working on something, but she didn't say what." I realize Hope knows about my involvement but hasn't told the family the whole truth. She can't admit that her worthless mother is succeeding where she failed. Against my better judgment, I decide to send Hope an invitation to the grand opening. Not a personal note, just the official invitation that everyone else is getting. I tell myself it's about being the bigger person. About giving her one last chance to see who I really am, beyond her version of me. But deep down, I think I want her to see what I've built. What I've accomplished without her drama, without her demands, without her constant need for money and attention. I drop the invitation in the mail before I can change my mind. Part of me wonders if she'll show up. Part of me hopes she won't. The thought of seeing her again makes my stomach twist with anxiety. What if she causes a scene? What if she tries to take credit somehow? What if she finds a way to ruin this for me too? But then I remember that this isn't about her anymore. This is about the community, about the kids who'll take art classes here, about the local artists who'll finally have a place to show their work. Hope can't touch that, no matter how hard she tries. Some things are bigger than her anger. The night of the grand opening, The Arts Center glows with warm lights and excited chatter. Families walk through the galleries, kids run between the craft stations, and local artists beam next to their displayed work. I'm seated at the front of the main hall, right beside the mayor and other city officials. Preston introduces me to visiting dignitaries, calling me the heart and soul of this project. Then I spot her in the back of the crowd. Hope, standing alone near the entrance, arms crossed tightly over her chest. She's wearing a black dress and a sour expression that doesn't match the celebration around her. Our eyes meet for a split second, and I see something in her face I've never seen before. Not anger or entitlement, but something closer to shock. Like she's seeing me for the first time. She looks around at the packed room, at the displays showcasing my work on the project, at the way people approach me with respect and gratitude. This isn't the worthless, dead-weight mother she described in the coffee shop. This isn't the bitter old woman who won't help her daughter's dreams. For the first time, Hope is seeing who I really am, and I can tell it's not what she expected. The mayor steps up to the podium, and the room gradually quiets down. Camera flashes go off as he begins his speech about community investment and artistic vision. Then his voice booms across the hall. None of this would have been possible without one remarkable woman. Someone who brought not just financial expertise, but unwavering integrity and vision to this project. Please join me in recognizing Talia Moore. The applause is thunderous. People stand up, clapping and cheering. Camera flashes pop like fireworks around the room. My name echoes off the walls of the building I helped create. I stand up slowly, my heart pounding, and wave to the crowd. Faces beam back at me. Faces full of genuine gratitude and respect. From the back of the room, I catch a glimpse of Hope. She looks like she's swallowed broken glass. Her face is pale, her mouth slightly open, her arms hanging limp at her sides. This is the moment she realizes that while she was busy calling me worthless, I was building something meaningful. While she was burning bridges, I was creating them. The applause continues for what feels like forever, and I finally understand what redemption feels like. After the speeches, people approach me constantly. Strangers shake my hand and thank me for making their community better. Parents tell me their kids are excited about the art classes. Local artists credit me with giving them hope again. Every handshake feels like a quiet reclaiming of the dignity of the Tisha. Hope tried to strip from me in that coffee shop. Every thank you erases a little more of her cruel words. A young mother approaches with her 7-year-old daughter. Mrs. Moore, thank you so much for this place. Emma's been talking about the pottery classes for weeks. Little Emma looks up at me with bright eyes. Are you really the lady who built this whole place? I helped, I tell her with a smile. Lots of people helped. You're like a superhero, she says seriously, and her mother laughs. As they walk away, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Pride without shame. Accomplishment without strings attached. Recognition for work well done, not guilt for money given. This is what it feels like to be valued for who you are, not what you can provide. This is what I've been missing all these years while trying to buy Hope's love. Hope finally approaches me near the end of the evening. The crowd has thinned out, and most of the officials have moved on to other conversations. She doesn't say anything at first, just stands there, staring at me with an expression I can't quite read. Not anger this time, but something more complex. Something that might almost be confusion. We look at each other for a long moment. Mother and daughter, but feeling like strangers. I hold her gaze steadily, not with anger or triumph, but with the kind of calm that comes when you've already won something more important than any argument. I didn't know, she says finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Know what? I ask, though I think I understand. I didn't know you could. I didn't know you were. She trails off, unable to finish the sentence. For 37 years, Hope has seen me only as her mother. Only as someone who existed to serve her needs, fund her dreams, clean up her messes. She never considered that I might be a complete person with my own abilities and worth. Tonight, she's seeing me as everyone else does, as someone competent, respected, valuable. And it's breaking her brain a little bit. Hope leaves early, slipping out while I'm still talking to the Arts Council members. Someone later tells me they overheard her muttering, "I'll never get a break in this city now." She's right. but not because of anything I've done to her. She's burned too many bridges, disappointed too many people, left too many unpaid bills behind her. The consequences of her choices have finally caught up with her, and for once, I'm not there to cushion the fall or write a check to make it go away. Later that night, as I help clean up the art center, Preston pulls me aside. "That was your daughter, wasn't it?" he asks gently. "The woman from the coffee shop." I nod, too tired to deny it anymore. "I'm sorry," he says. "That must have been difficult." "Actually," I say, surprising myself, "it wasn't. Not this time." For the first time, seeing Hope was just seeing Hope. Not feeling guilty about her problems or responsible for her failures, just seeing a grown woman who made her own choices and now has to live with them. It's liberating in a way I never expected. 3 weeks later, I learned through my sister that Hope has moved to another city. No goodbye, no final confrontation, no last-ditch attempt to guilt me into helping her. She just packed up and left, probably figuring a fresh start somewhere else would be easier than rebuilding her reputation here. My first feeling isn't sadness or regret, it's relief. Pure, uncomplicated relief. For the first time in years, I don't have to worry about running into her at the grocery store. I don't have to prepare for unexpected phone calls demanding money. I don't have to wonder when the next crisis will land on my doorstep. My sister calls to tell me, her voice careful and neutral. Hope says she found a better opportunity in Portland. A fresh start. I just say, I hope it works out for her. And I actually mean it. Not because I think she'll succeed this time, but because I genuinely hope she finds whatever it is she's been looking for all these years. Maybe distance will help her grow up. Maybe she'll learn to take responsibility for her own life, or maybe she'll find new people to blame and use. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. 3 months after the grand opening, a letter arrives at my house. The handwriting on the envelope is shaky, unfamiliar, but something about it makes my stomach clench. It's from Hope. I sit at my kitchen table, staring at the envelope for a long time before opening it. Part of me wants to throw it away unread, but curiosity wins. The letter is short, written on plain notebook paper. Her handwriting looks different, smaller, less confident than before. "Mom," it starts, and my heart skips at the word I haven't heard from her in months. But then I keep reading. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't take responsibility for the coffee shop scene or the years of manipulation. She doesn't acknowledge the money I gave her or the opportunities she wasted. Instead, she writes, "I hope you're happy without me. I hope your new life is everything you wanted." There's something bitter in those words, like she's trying to make me feel guilty for succeeding after she left, like my happiness is somehow a betrayal of her. But for the first time, I realize I am happy. Truly, deeply happy, in a way I haven't been in years. And that might be the sharpest cut of all. 6 months later, the Art Center is opening a new wing dedicated to community theater. Tonight is the dedication ceremony, and the mayor has asked me to cut the ribbon. But this ceremony is special for another reason. The new theater wing is being built in memory of my late husband Thomas, funded by a grant I wrote and secured myself. As the mayor finishes his speech, the curtains drop away from the dedication plaque mounted by the theater doors. The brass gleams under the spotlight as he reads the inscription aloud, "The Thomas More Community Theater, built in memory of Thomas and Talia Moore for their lifelong service to the arts and their community." My name, my legacy, permanent and bronze and beautiful. The crowd applauds and I step forward to cut the ribbon. Camera flashes capture the moment. Me, smiling genuinely for the first time in years, surrounded by people who value and respect me. That's when I see her. Hope, standing at the very back of the crowd, partially hidden behind other people. She's staring at the plaque with an expression of absolute shock. My name, carved in bronze, acknowledging a lifetime of contribution. Recognition that can never be taken away, never be diminished, never be forgotten. For 37 years, Hope told me I was worthless. Tonight, the whole town knows better.